All right, no intro video today, boys and girls. I'm wondering why it's not going on locals. It looks like this show is just going to YouTube, Facebook, and Rob's X and my X account. So, Nick and I wanted to just jump on and discuss the epic Trump first week in office, man. Like, I don't care how black pilled you are on politics. This first week has been out of this world, man. Like it was just one thing after another where you're just like, holy cow, man, this is amazing.
No, for real. Tim asked me on our stream earlier. He was like, "Do you think this is?" And he's not a Trump fan at all, but he's like, "Do you think this is the most epic first week of a president in U.S. history?" And I should have said, and I'll say it here, outside of maybe like Washington's feeling of being like, "Oh crap, I'm like the first leader of this country," probably it's at least the most productive one.
Well, it's like without a doubt in our lifetimes.
By far, yeah.
Like without a doubt in our lifetimes. And it's look, we're gonna obviously go over a bunch of the executive orders, but the pardons, the January 6th pardons, before we even touch the pro-life stuff, the January 6th pardons are some of forget trolling the left. Like when you get into guys like Joe Biggs and Enrique Tarrio. Enrique Tarrio was not even in the Capitol, and he got a 22-year sentence.
Insane.
For sending text messages to his friends. Joe Biggs is 41 years old. The guy has 3 kids. And because he was associated with the Proud Boys, they gave him 17 years in prison. Like the level of this is live, Molly. We're doing this live. So I'm off work this week because of the weather. All the asphalt plants in New York City were closed down. So because I had this week off, that's why I was able to like go late on both week shows that we had. Me and Nick did a show Monday, right?
Mm-hmm.
We did one Monday, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I think we did a show Monday during the day. Then we did the Tuesday show. We went long with Joshua. Then last night we went long with Sam Shamoon. And now I get to throw in a Friday show because I'm off. Like I kind of lose my mind at home if I'm not doing stuff. So I've been like editing clips, and I just texted Nick. I was like, hey, let's jump on. But the Joe Biggs situation was one of those stories that was so heartbreaking to me because, and even we'll talk about Bevelyn Williams as well, because but 17 years for a man with 3 kids for protesting and walking in the Capitol. This is a guy, he didn't hit any cops. He didn't cause a riot. He walked into the Capitol, and because he was associated with the Proud Boys, got 17 years. That you're taking away a man from his 3 children. Like it was one of the most heartbreaking stories I had ever heard. I don't know the guy at all. I just saw the story, and it was just like the level of evil to do that to someone, because I was tempted to go to freaking January. I was tempted to go to the January 6th. 2020 or 2021, whenever it was, protests, because we were all outraged about that election. And who knows what you're going to get swept into. And you go and you march into the Capitol. They raided a mother from Alaska's house because they identified her incorrectly. One of her neighbors said, that looks like my neighbor, ratted her out, and the freaking FBI went to Alaska and raided this woman's house. It was the wrong woman. So to watch those January 6th pardons was just this incredible act of mercy and vindication that I don't know how those people could have survived 17 years or 22 years knowing they did nothing, right? Like it's one thing to go to prison for something you did. It's another thing to like, dude, I went to a protest. I walked into a building. Everybody was there. The cops were waving us in. I walked in, and my whole life is like, that's a life sentence essentially.
Yeah. But especially for the guy who has the kids, it's like your kids are now growing up without a dad. They have to live with the reality that their dad's in jail. We should honestly, would you guys in the audience like this? Like with your Twitter powers, we should reach out to one of these guys and see if they want to come on the show.
I might be able to get Joe Biggs through Ryan, because Ryan, Gavin's producer.
That'd be
Ryan
cool.
Katsu Rivera. He knows him pretty well, but I'm sure these guys like Enrique Tarrio held a press conference today. I'm gonna let the smoke die down a little bit but I would love to do like an in-depth interview with Joe Biggs, and because he's
Yeah.
the guy who just loved this country. Even like the whole thing with the Proud Boys, everybody thinks they were like this racist organization. No, they weren't. Like it was
No.
never anything about that. Like I know the origins of the Proud Boys and all that stuff. It was just one of those things where it was just straight up evil to do what they did to these men. These men, once they went to jury trial in DC, it was a guarantee they were going to lose. And
Yeah.
they gave them stricter sentences because they had the audacity to argue with the plea bargain that they gave them. It was just so insane. The other one with the pardons, I mean with the pro-life pardons, man, what a great freaking relief.
Mm-hmm.
These people who were convicted under the FACE Act. The FACE Act is freedom. What does the FACE Act stand for? Freedom for freedom of access to, like they had
Freedom of Access to Clinical Entrance Act. Yeah.
So this was put in under Clinton, and it was supposed to be for churches, so nobody could prevent you from going into churches, and also for abortion clinics, right? So they were saying it was for both those things. Now, did any cops get convicted under the FACE Act when they prevented us from going to church during 2020?
Nope. Not at all.
Right? So what? So
that's
this
the thing.
But they could have been technically under the same statute, because none of these pro-life activists that went and protested actually did anything wrong. Like they weren't violent. They didn't cause any problem. They protested at the entrance of an abortion clinic, and they were willing to, like, look, you do that. You do take the risk. You're saying, you're saying, okay, I may get in trouble for this. I may even do a little sentence, but you're thinking, okay, what am I going to do? 6 months? Like, Bevelyn Williams got a 4-year sentence. This woman had a 2-year-old child. I think the baby was like a year old when she got sentenced. You're taking this mother away from her infant, essentially, her toddler.
I know.
And that toddler's going to lose their mother for 4 years because she protested, because she felt that emphatically that she needed to stand up for life. Like, it's just mind-boggling that these people are that evil. But somebody pointed out to me, it's like you're perplexed by that they're that evil. They could take a mother from that. These are the same people who murder babies.
Exactly. I was like, we really shouldn't be any surprise at all. I always say, and people can quote me on this, the motto of the left is be gay and do crime.
Yeah,
because that's what it is. It's like if you look at leftism all throughout history, it's always the same two things. They open up the jails, they open up the insane asylums, they let them out on the streets, they let them go crazy, they let the rioters go crazy. The normal people, the moral people, the good people, they throw in jail. And so we shouldn't be surprised at this at all, because it's like, again, like these are the same people which were out burning buildings during the 2020 riots. But at the same time, you know, oh, this person happens to be on the Capitol lawn. We have a, you know, we see him in a video. He's not even in the building, but let's throw him in jail for forever. It's insane.
we should name an episode that. Oh, we came up with some funny episode names. We'll never be allowed to name the show.
R.I.P. YouTube, please change.
There are things we got to discuss, though. So we've talked often on this channel. Rob's texting me. I didn't set up locals. Yeah, I don't know why. Locals, I don't know what happened with locals. So we've talked about immigration on this channel, and that, yeah, Trump could do all the deportations he wants, but until he stops the cartels that are these NGOs that get contracts for hundreds of millions of dollars, until he shuts those down, there's, like, it's still the incentive to bring these people into the country is there. Exactly. Now, I got a text. I'm not going to say who it was from, because I think this person doesn't really want it known that they were the one that kind of started it, but it was one of our, somebody everybody knows, a Catholic friend who kind of started pointing out. All right, so here's where you have to start. There is a video that CBS posted. The U.S. Catholic Church feels it has to speak out on President Trump's immigration policies, which we see as going against some of the most basic tenets of our faith. Frankly, the fundamental right of every human person that needs to be respected, no matter their origin, no matter. Oh, and the tweet was deleted. So it was. Which bishop was this? The Bishop of El Paso, Texas. This is the bishop that went and took a knee during. He's the one that took a knee during the BLM riots.
During the riots. Right? Oh, these ones are horrible. Yeah, he's the same one.
So this is the bishop who went and took a knee and held up a Black Lives Matter sign. Okay. So he goes on CBS. Now, CBS deleted the tweet because it ends up getting back to Elon Musk. So I'm going to pull this tweet up. I'm going to send this to the show notes and we'll go over this. Sorry, guys. Bear with me.
Yeah, you're right, Sean. He's not serious. He being Trump's not serious until he throws bishops in jail. Honestly, it's like that may sound extreme because we're like, oh, the bishops, but it's like these guys facilitate essentially. You have like a winking nudge to groups that traffic women and all kinds of horrible stuff.
It's horrific. So I'm just pulling this up now, guys. Give me a sec. Let me that's not
Rob's being gay again. He doesn't want to join us.
Well, the thing is, I'm lucky that I had off this week. So
no, Anthony. Rob's being gay. That's what's
Rob.
happening.
We should have played queer. As a queer. We should have started with that video.
That's the new video every time Rob doesn't show up on one of our streams.
We really should. Anytime we do a show without Rob, we just go queer. It's queer. It sounds like a queer. Talks like a queer. Must be queer.
Lets people know.
Okay, so let's see. I'm gonna pull this.
By being gay, do you mean working? No. He's just being gay.
Okay, so now we have to discuss this because this is actually okay. So also, Michael Hitchborn puts together a graph at Lepanto Institute discussing how much money the U.S. bishops get now during immigration. Okay, so let me just see here. Okay, so yeah, this is the amount of money, but wait, there's an even better one that I have to bring up. Let me see.
Royalty income, almost $3 million.
Okay, wait a minute.
National collection. See, this is people.
Okay, I was gonna try and keep him out of this, but this clearly I don't think I can because I have to bring up his tweet. So Thursday from Pints with Aquinas tweeted this thing out, and we have to let me see. I have to bring this up. Okay. All right. Now
Thursday looks mad in that photo, man.
Hang on. Let's see. Stop screen sharing, then present.
What's crazy to me is like everybody, like especially if you go to a diocesan parish, like this, like whenever the diocesan structures are just like, yeah, give to the Catholic charities, get to the Catholic service announcement appeals and stuff like that. It's like your money is going to the fostering of illegal immigration.
Okay, let's just take a look at Thursday's tweet here. Okay, so here is the USCCB's government grant income from migrant and refugee services. So 2016, the last year before Trump. So that's Obama's in, Trump's about to take office. 95 million for immigrant and migrant refugee services. Trump comes in his first year, that number gets cut down to 72 million. 2018, Trump cuts it down even more to 48 million. 2019 goes up a little bit to 52. Trump's last year in office, all-time low in the past, 15 years, 47 million. Biden's first year in his term, 2021, that number jumps up to 67 million. 2022 goes up to 122 million. 2023 goes up to 129 million.
This is insane.
The source for this is the USCCB, okay?
Goodness gracious.
Now, the CBS posts this. How amazing that they send McElroy down to DC to stick it to Trump, right? Like they put McElroy in there to stick it to Trump.
Oh, 1,000%.
Because because he's going to stand up to Trump, right? Them doing that, then this bishop going on CBS starts making everybody go, wait a minute, what's going on here? And they start looking at the details. Now, you you then have Elon Musk catches wind of this, and Elon Musk, let's see. Oh, let me just do this first. Let me pull up Elon's tweet.
Centurion, what do you do if your boss met Trump? What do you do? Do you work for like the North Carolina Capitol?
So then, let's see. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Okay, so Elon, share that. Man, I would really do like when Rob's here. Okay, so
under real Donald Trump, the U.S. government will stop. What is that? Bribing religious organizations to facilitate illegal immigration.
So let's just go through this. This is, I mean, you're talking about, so Bishop Seats conveniently leaves out the fact that his organization rakes in hundreds of millions of dollars in federal funding every year to facilitate human trafficking. So this was originally a quote tweet on top of the CBS clip, but that post is unavailable now. Now you have to give credit to Lepanto Institute because he's the one that did all this digging. He put up a graph and he put all these things together, and it eventually is the graph that gets back to Elon Musk.
Wow.
So it's just going to be very interesting to see. Look, the donations in the pews are plummeting. I mean, they are down ridiculously, right? So they take these grants, 122 million, and I saw Father Schmitz defending them, saying, well, when we take these grants, this money goes to paying people for these programs. Yeah, sure they do. I'm sure they also pay the head of that organization over $1 million. It's like Lila Rose at the head of Live Action, makes $500,000 a year. Like, you people that give money to Live Action, you have to understand that none of your money is going to women struggling to make ends meet and it's just doesn't go to that. Your money is going to video platforming. It's going to advertising. It's going to salaries for the people at Live Action. It's going to subsidize all the things. Lila just was in the cat, and I'm not knocking Lila. I know everybody loves Lila. I'm just saying charities have a way of operating that you think your money is going to. And look, I think it's very important that we have a pro-life movement and that we do have these videos and things going out. It's, propaganda is a very important part of the pro-life fight. So yeah, I don't know what that's actually worth. I don't know, whatever. It's
just people should know where their money's going. Like, I mean, it's like if you're specifically wanting to donate to help moms not facilitate abortions, and like be prudent with your finances and don't just donate to something that says pro-life, because you don't know where that's going. It's the same thing with this stuff, because you're right. It's like, okay, so the USCCB is losing money hand over fist when it comes to collections in the pews, and it makes sense because it's like, one, people are just not going to mass. Two, those who are going to mass aren't donating a lot. And a lot of people aren't donating because it's like, I mean, where's my money going to go? Is it going to go to like the payout of some type of an abuse scandal? Like, where is my money going to go? I've often talked about like boycotting just for the sake of like doctrinal purity. We're not getting fed like good doctrine. All of this to say, if this money is going to the facilitation of illegal immigration, particularly when a lot of these people on the other side of the border, these terrorists, right, which we can now call them that. I mean, that's just what they are. They're terrorists, are trafficking in women and children and drugs and stuff like that.
Well, just think of the conflict of interest alone here, okay? Let's think of the conflict of interest. The pews are starting to empty, especially what they did after 2020. They told everybody the sacraments are not necessary, essentially. They're not essential.
They're optional.
They're optional. So everybody stops going to mass. They stop donating. The every diocese is being sued into oblivion for moving priests around during the scandal era. So now you have the government offering out these grants. There's tons of money just being laundered through these organizations, right? So now they're out there putting their voices out to stand up for the migrants.
I know.
Because they make a fortune off of it, right?
Exactly.
Now the USCCB still has in their in their language of their like mission statement, it's like the pro-life issue is supposed to be the number one issue for Catholics, right? Their budget for pro-life work is $2 million. They give out 15 million plus in pro-choice programs. Like they're giving money out and grants to other organizations. So Michael Hitchborn just sent me his newsletter. I should have he just sent it to me, so it's like too much to go over, but I talked to him before this episode. So they spend about $2 million in pro-life work where they're, fighting for the unborn, but then they give out grants to all these different programs who are pro-choice in their program. Like, dang. So you're giving more money to the opposition than you are to your actual stated mission. Yeah. Then they have this racket going on at the southern border where they're just funneling money into Catholic charities. Everybody's making a fortune off of it. They've incentivized human trafficking, essentially. It's like, come into our country illegally. This, then you hope that they're hoping, oh, maybe this will fill the seats again because we're getting some Catholics coming in. But in the end, it really is just, hey, we own all these properties. The church owns all these buildings that nobody goes to anymore. Let's just convert them into migrant centers. Now we have money for the upkeep of the property. Like, don't tell me that money is not going to the dioceses that have these properties where it's, I mean, that's absolutely what's happening. This is the way they're keeping this shell going. And it's just insane. So now if Elon says from now on, religious organizations will no longer be bribed. Like, if you cut the funding off to that alone is going to stop the flow, because this has been organized from NGOs outside of America, funneling all their resources into they put caravans together, running from South America into America, where they just flood these illegals in because they get paid to do it.
Exactly. Like, you look at how large some of these caravans are. Do we think that they're just, a bunch of people decide to get together one day in a town and start marching north?
So crazy, man.
That's insane.
Yeah, if we can get that under control, that alone is going to make a humongous difference, right? So that's a major thing that's happening. Now, we do have to go through some of the other like what have you seen in this first week of Trump that has just been lighting you up? I mean, clearly January 6th pardons, pro-life pardons. We should I want to do Bevelyn Williams because we got to show the video of her coming out.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find that.
Big thing for me is the immigration issue. People in the chat will know this. It's like, I'm a nativist. I think we should have a homogenous America, and I think illegal immigration is one of the greatest threats to that. And so we'll play the clips later, but those clips, particularly of the ICE agents in the city of Boston, they round up over 500. I think it's 546 was the count yesterday. Illegal migrants, illegal aliens, and deported them. But you listen to some of the crimes of these people. It's just like multiple felony counts of rape, and it's like they're let out the same day because of the sanctuary city judge. I mean, this is what I was talking about last night on the show with Sam Shamoon. If you guys haven't gotten to watch that episode, definitely go watch it. I personally thought last night was one of the funnest nights we've ever had. I really enjoyed
election night.
No, Sam Shamoon. Sam Shamoon.
Sam Shamoon. Oh, I think about election night.
Election night is pretty fun too. But like I said last night, it's like the problem that we face here in the United States is that we have mass hordes of people coming into the United States who are not from a background similar to ours, and they also have no intention of assimilating. And then we have half the population here who are communists and socialists who want that to take place. So for me, the immigration issue is the biggest thing. And I agree, actually, Jim, for me, it is ban all immigration. I want a restructuring of the immigration system back to a 1920 standard.
Yes, but what we talked about with Sam last night actually scared the living crap out of me.
I was glad. I was so happy he was talking.
Because I really did think we were kind of insulated from it in the U.S. because we're so big.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, yeah, we're definitely still in stage one, right? We're in stage one. It's like, all right, yeah, maybe some crazies in Minnesota where they have the National Mall there and stuff like that. That is a stronghold that Muslims have, but they're nowhere near like
Britain stuff.
jihad in America. Like they're not even anywhere near that. But the simple fact that, and Rob pointed this out, he goes, yeah, we're worried about Iran getting a nuke. It's like, but if Islam takes over Europe,
they have it.
They now have England's nukes. They now have like we're now dealing with a completely different world. And it's look, in the Middle East, the Islam doesn't have much infrastructure, right? We've been able to basically keep these people in the Stone Age through our Middle Eastern policy at the behest of
a certain country over there.
The behest of the deep state, we'll say. But once they take over the infrastructure of Europe, like these people all of a sudden get brought into the 21st century, and they still have archaic, middle-aged ways of dealing with issues. So,
exactly.
Todd Bird, long time no see, bud. As long as all of those people are good at programming, hopefully Vivek and Musk can get them this. All right,
I don't think Vivek works there anymore.
Yeah, I'm curious what happened there.
I am too. I think it's I think he's saying it's because he's running for governor. I'll take him at his word.
I think him and Elon clashed.
I do too.
I think him and Elon clashed. And Elon, he's not one to play nice with others, really. You know, like he wants his way, and I don't know. He likes being in the spotlight, that's for sure. He likes being praised. That's a lot. But who knows? We'll find out in the time to come. But let me just see what I just send to. Oh, I got the Bevelyn Williams clip.
Oh yeah, pull that up.
Let's pull that up.
I hadn't even gotten a chance to dig into this, I don't think.
So this is her. Let me see. Sorry, guys, you know me. Sorry. I'm so bad at this.
It's because the queer is not here to help.
Queer. We need the queer here. All right, here we go. So this is her. We'll start over. This is her getting out of prison. Seeing her baby for the first time since she was convicted. So there were people saying that she was released a little too early on. All right. And I had even tweeted, I'm like, Bevelyn Williams just got pardoned, and her husband reached out and he was like, this is fake news. She was never.
I was about to say, black people kissing makes me nervous.
Makes you nervous? PDA makes me. Look, this woman gets to see her baby. Like, what an amazing. Yeah, her story was just, I just couldn't believe what they did to wasn't I know Father Fidelis, he was pardoned, and then there was an older woman, it was like a grandmother basically, who was also in prison for violating the FACE Act. What they did to those people was just horrific, man.
That was so bad.
I might try and get Bevelyn on because she seems, look, like all of these, you have to give people a little minute and everybody's going to want to talk to them. But what do you think of the Ross Ulbricht case?
So I was very happy that he did that. Not because I think that what Ulbricht did, and like in the sense of what he actually did, was like a good and moral thing, but just because that was an insane punishment. Like, because wasn't it 2 life sentences plus 10 years? It was something like that.
It was 2 life sentences and 40 years, no possibility of parole.
Yeah, that's insane for what he was doing. That's absolutely insane.
So I saw Michael Knowles arguing, saying nobody should be celebrating the release of Ross Ulbricht. This man was a drug dealer and accused of murder. And it's like, okay. What really happened was he created a website for illicit activity. I mean, he did. He knew it was on the dark web. He created a website for illicit activity. He knew people would be doing shady things on there. But but he was a young guy, very young, created this website. I think he deserved a 10-year sentence.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like what he did in and of itself wasn't morally right, and should get like a slap on the wrist. But at the same time, you don't need to be thrown in jail for 2 life sentences plus 40 years with no parole. That's an insane over amount of justice.
Well, Nick, you think about, man, you make a dumb mistake when you're a kid, and I mean, yeah, dude, these people will just take someone's life away like it's nothing. Like, look, I understand violent criminals. I understand the idea of somebody is dealing heroin and they're going in and they rob somebody with an armed weapon and they put people's lives in it. We're talking about something very different. We're talking about a young guy sets up a website. People are trading in Bitcoin. He takes a little percentage of everything that gets. I mean, he set up a Facebook marketplace on the dark web. It's essentially what he did. That's like people actually stole his idea and made Facebook market. Like I think Zuckerberg saw what he did and went, "I'm just going to do a legal version of that." And it's like that's basically what it was. Now, I could see getting a 10-year sentence, but to rob someone of their entire life, like you get one life. And I don't know, man, like the way the Justice Department was wielded under the past couple of administrations, even Snowden, I think should get a full pardon, man. That guy,
I agree.
Let the world know that the freaking NSA was watching every single thing you do. Like nobody ever thought the government was. They knew they probably thought they were capable of it, but the fact that they were actually monitoring every single one of us the way they are, it's pretty freaking terrifying. There's no privacy whatsoever. And you think you're going on WhatsApp that's encrypted, and you think you're going on, a Telegram or all these things that say they're encrypted. No, they know what you're saying on every single platform that you're on. They know everything you're doing, which makes it amazing when somebody like the shooter in Pennsylvania was able to get away with what he did, because to think that the government didn't know what he was communicating to other people is crazy.
Yeah, no. I mean, that's the point. I mean, the fact that you go with that, especially that case, and it's like, oh yeah, the entire federal government can't get inside of this kid's phone, and then also at the same time, like within a few weeks, the body's burned, the ashes are removed, and case dismissed. Like that, for a presidential candidate, now president of the United States. But then when it comes to someone who just comes out and says, hey, by the way, like your amendments are being broke, then no, you have to be out of the country. Or with this whole situation with Ross, it's like, yeah, you did some stupid stuff on the dark web.
So Molly's saying, I don't think that qualifies as a dumb mistake. I'm not defending Ross Ulbricht.
Yeah, what he did was immoral in and of itself. But we're saying the sentence is insane. Like 2 life sentences plus 40 years for
setting up a website.
Yeah, some from bad stuff on the internet.
He look, it's not like he set up this squeaky clean website. He knew people were going to be selling drugs on it, but like even that, like I don't know, man. To throw someone in prison for that long, like I don't know. Time is irreplaceable, and it just scares me that, especially because seeing what they did to Trump should have been a wake-up call to every single American that show me the man, I'll show you the crime.
Exactly.
That scary thought, because there's not a single person on this planet that the government can't frame to look like they did something crazy illegal. And they'll get the majority of people, the way they frame the story, the way that you catch the news clippings, the way that the media presents it, you will think that person is the most evil person who ever lived. Meanwhile, some guy, and he's like, it's like, oh crap, man.
Well, it's like that statement from what's his name? Schumer said on MSNBC whenever like Trump got rid of what's his name, the FBI director back in 2017, and he said there's like 90 ways from here till Sunday on how they can screw you over, and it's like how many more for just Rambos in the street? It's like so you don't think that they know your internet history? They could just be like, oh, so what were you doing on this interesting like foreign suspectful website? Especially you guys out there, they're gonna be like, what were you doing on this website? Would you like your family to find this out? Would you like your job to find this out? It's like
That's
the only way to give something secret nowadays is to write a letter and like hand it to your friend in the woods. That's
Yep,
about
that's
it.
it. I'll tell you, I'm fully convinced that Mike Johnson, the speaker,
Mhm.
I'm fully convinced that they are blackmailing him because of things he's looked at on the internet.
Could be. I don't know. I'd have to see evidence.
Here's why. He flipped his position on so many things once he became speaker. If you heard the way he was talking before he became speaker, you would have thought he was one of the most based politicians of all time. As soon as he became speaker, he just changed his tune on Ukraine. He changed his tune on everything. It was as if they sat this guy down and went, look, you're out here trying to present yourself as some moral Christian figure, telling people that pornography is wrong. Let me just show you your search history. And he went, oh,
Or, I mean, it could be that, but it also, I mean, think it may not even, Anthony knows. You never know. Or it could be not even that. I mean, honestly, we don't even need to necessarily impugn his character. It could just very well be something like, if you don't do this, this is what's going to happen to you. Not even like blackmailing, but like threats of life. Because it's like that's exactly the old adage for every president. It's like the president makes all these speeches during the election time, becomes president, and then they're like, okay, cool, you won. They slap the gun on the floor and they're like, okay, look, you can get a little bit of stuff done, but if you try to touch this type of stuff, you're done. And it could have happened.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think look, this is what the reason we're saying this, the reason I'm bringing this up even is because you men, especially, you better have a clean search history on your phone, on your
Your
computers.
search history should just say avoiding Babylon traditional Thomist, and that is
like
it.
you better make sure, because well, first off, you have children, right? Like if my kids come and take my phone, like I leave my phone, anybody in my house can take, like they all know my password, they can look through anything. You want that to be the case. You don't want to be looking at anything on your phone that if your wife walked in or your kids walked in, you would be mortified by.
Exactly.
But when the government has access to this stuff, if you're ever in a situation, don't think for a second they will not leverage that information against you. And
No,
we all
exactly.
think, well, who am I? I'm just some guy, but you never know
Yeah.
when something like that comes up. They can plant things on your devices too. That is a scary thought. That's a very scary thought. They could just claim, hey, look at what this guy was looking up. And it's like, wait a minute, what? I never looked that up.
Yeah, no, I know. It's insane. This actually, what I'm about to say, this can lead us into the clips on the immigration stuff. So it's like I forget
Absolutely
entirely.
fish. Yes. I mean, obviously, but I'm in the immediate here and now. I'm just look, if you have children, like you are a father, you have, how are you going to teach your children you shouldn't do this thing when you yourself are doing it? It's what like
Exactly.
hypocrisy is it with your children, especially like your kids. For men, your kids need to know your wife is the only woman you have eyes for. It's a very important thing that they don't even catch you having a wandering eye when you're out on the street. Like my kids know my wife is the only woman I look at, and it's an important thing for men to, especially married men, that their children know that their wife is the only one they have eyes for. So I'm sorry, I cut you off, Nick.
Oh, you're fine. No, I agree with you 100%. I was reminded of the statements like, if you can't lead yourself to heaven, then you can't lead your family to heaven. So it's like, if you are perpetually looking at corn and going after self-abuse and the things like that, like how do you expect to lead other people? But it leads into this discussion actually with illegal immigration, because in some of the clips where guys are going to show you, some of you guys probably have seen it, but a lot of these people who are being deported, thank the good Lord, are charged for crimes involving rape and stuff like that.
Horrific crimes.
But it reminds me of like, I mean, just like the nature of perversion. It's like you dip your toes in and you go more and more and more extreme. And so it's like so many of these guys, I'm sure, are in some form or fashion hooked to these evil images and things along that nature. Yeah, the Haiti guy was nuts. Honestly, I busted out laughing. I mean, he was nuts, but I busted out laughing at his statement.
We're going to try and play this clip. But
if we get banned, if we get shut down, everyone, we'll be back momentarily.
So here's the thing. we're gonna have to keep pausing it because we already dealt with the stupid copyright stuff. But this clip is so good, and I played it for my wife, and my wife could not believe that the men who were charged with these things were released because they were in sanctuary districts.
Some of them
Like
the same day.
She just did not think that that was a real thing. And I'm like, listen to me. You don't get how evil, because most people, look, your average person, when they hear the USCCB talking about this stuff, your Christian impulse is to have empathy for those who are looking for a better life and they come to America to find a better life. It's not what's happening.
Yeah, not my Christian impulse.
Well, Nick, it's because you and I think a little deeper about things and we see the reality of what's happening, right? But the typical woman in the pew who's just trying to raise her family, she's just a mom and she's not into this stuff the way we are. Like my wife, she gets mad when I even say this, but she's not watching the news. She's not concerned with this. In her mind, look, she lives in this white neighborhood. Everything's great here, and she's not exposed to what I see when I go to work in the city and I see men pulling each other out of each other's cars with baseball. Like I have a crazy video I could show you. Maybe I'll try to do that.
Did you take the video?
No, my friend sent it to me though. Like absolutely bonkers. Just two guys fighting in Queens, beating the crap out of each other. One guy smashes the other guy's window with a baseball bat. So the guy jumps out of his car, jumps in the other guy's car, and runs it up onto the sidewalk. It's just insane things that I see. That should have been the opening video. It actually would have been a good opening video, but yeah. So like, my wife is not exposed to this stuff, so in her world, she's like, "But we really should have compassion for people who are seeking." And you can, if somebody is seeking, like it is a good Christian impulse to have empathy for that person. The problem is it is being abused in ways that, let's just get to the clip. Look, we're going to play it and I'm going to do my best to, we're going to have to keep pausing it and stuff. And we'll see what we can get away with playing here.
We'll be back momentarily, y'all, if we get through.
I'm going to have to just stay on it and keep pausing it. So let's see. All right. You can see this, right?
Yeah.
One of those threats is this illegal alien from Haiti. ICE says he's a gang member with 17 criminal convictions in recent years.
Trump, you feel me? Yo, Biden forever, bro. Thank Obama for everything that he did for me, bro.
First off, just that alone. Thank Obama for everything he did for me, bro.
At least he's being honest. Let's be real. Like Obama was horrible.
Let's watch where this goes.
ICE Boston quickly takes down its next targets, including this illegal alien from Brazil who has an Interpol red notice for armed robbery. This Salvadoran illegal alien charged locally with rape and released by a sanctuary jurisdiction.
Just think about that.
Yeah.
Charged with that and then released because you're in a sanctuary district, or jurisdiction. These people that let these men go, thank God there's a hell. It's the people who say, "Dare we hope all are saved?" No, thank God there is a hell and a justice that will be paid for people who get away with these kind of things in this life.
Yeah, because this stuff is horrible, and this is why I say, like, when you have communists in power, it is be gay and do crime. They allow this nonsense to go on because in their warped mind, they're like, these people have been pushed down and the whites have been elevated. So let's even out the playing field. But in their twisted world of even out the playing field, it's let's open up all the jails so that your daughters and your wives and your sisters can get assaulted by these freaks. It's horrible.
It's so crazy.
And this Dominican illegal alien charged with assault with a deadly weapon and heroin trafficking. Officers also arrested this Guatemalan MS-13 gang member facing gun charges. ICE says he was released from local custody just the day before. Their detainer request was ignored because of sanctuary policies.
So he's arrested. ICE says, keep him there. We're coming to get him. Nah, we're going to let him go anyway. So instead of, because this is Boston, right? So what's going on is they're like Chicago and Boston said, we will not cooperate with ICE.
Exactly.
So they won't cooperate with ICE. So now ICE has to use, so now it just costs the federal government more money, more resources to go and find these guys on their own when they were just in jail the day before. And it would have been just very simple for them to go in. But watch how these things backfire.
And in a sign of shifting priorities with the new Trump administration, this man, who was in the same apartment as the target, was also arrested after ICE determined he's also in the U.S. illegally. This is what ICE calls collateral.
So you guys. So now it's somebody goes out. So Trump has come out and he's like, look, him and Homan are like, look, we're just going to go for the criminals. Like that's where we're going to start. We're going to start with the criminals for now. We're going to start with the criminals. But there's a little caveat there because the guy goes out and commits a crime. Then he gets released by the sanctuary district and he goes home. Now, if you're harboring that criminal and you're also illegal, you're out too, buddy. Sorry to tell you, which is such an awesome policy because these criminals don't like, even if the other guy hasn't been caught doing something, he's a criminal too. If you're hanging out with criminals, you are who you hang out with.
No, exactly. I mean, because it's like these people, right, who are the major criminals, the violent criminals, they're bad and they should be the first priority. But every single illegal alien is a criminal by virtue of the fact that you broke the law.
You broke the law and came into the country by definition. So
exactly.
Let's see. This gets better.
You guys got your main target just now, but you got somebody else. What just happened?
So our main target was released by a sanctuary jurisdiction, not honoring a detainer. That person was released back into the community, and when we went to go find him, he's with somebody else who was previously removed from the United States. So he's going to
wait. This person was previously deported.
Yeah,
and then came back again. So this is why the stuff with the USCCB and the border NGOs, if you don't settle that, all that's going to happen is these guys get deported, they take a flight back to Mexico, they come right back in.
No, exactly.
If we don't stop what's going on at the border, I don't know. You're spending money to get these people out, and they're just going to come right back in.
No, exactly. That's the thing. It's like I tell people all the time, this is the greatest issue that we face as a nation, because if you want your nation to be anything like the nation that your grandparents lived in, your parents lived in, you grew up in, etc., you have to stop it now. Because if it does not, whether it's Muslim or mass migration from down south, it's going to come and change the face of the society. And the fact that, again, like this is what's so despicable. These people are coming in and they know that they can get away with these crimes. Like, think about, there's no incentive to not, there's no hesitancy to not go and commit these crimes when you're like, okay, yeah, all I need to do is get across the border, make it to Boston, and then I can engage in degenerate behavior, force and abuse people, and I'll just be out of jail the next day, get a little slap on the wrist, and I'll stay in the country.
Okay, so so we're playing a Fox News clip right now, which obviously Fox News is conservative. But I just saw an MSNBC clip where this person, we should watch this video because I like seeing the other side too. Like lately, I've just been watching CNN. Like I don't even want to watch Fox. I just want to watch CNN to watch them melt down. It's like watching Scott Jennings on CNN is one of my favorite things to do now. Because he'll be on a panel, he's the only conservative, and they'll spout their nonsense and he just shuts them down. It's pretty wonderful to watch. But this person wrote out, workplace raids have begun. None of these people were rapists or criminals. Even if you're not a U.S. citizen, you still deserve a due process in this country. 3 workers at a Newark restaurant were taken into custody by ICE without a warrant. One detainee, a veteran, endured the humiliation of having his military documentation questioned. I don't believe that.
That's well, yeah, and it's like even if that's true, you don't need a warrant. You're not a citizen.
Yeah. All right. Should we play the rest of this clip? We'll stick with this clip. We'll play it a little longer, and then I want to see that MSNBC clip.
Go today too.
And that is exactly what Border Czar Tom Homan has warned would happen.
When we find the bad guy, he's probably with others that are in the United States illegally. They may not be a criminal priority, but we're not walking away from them.
ICE Boston says they will continue to go into sanctuary jurisdictions and do their job.
Today was a good day. Today we took several significant public safety threats out of our communities. Unfortunately, a lot were released by sanctuary policies, but we're here to tell the Commonwealth and the rest of the country that we're going to find them whether they're released or not.
So
Not
let's
surprised. I think in the last bit of the clip, the crazy thing, if I remember right, in the last bit of the clip, it goes back to, I think it's Bill Malugin, who's on the streets there in Boston. And he talks about how there's 2 more illegals that were rounded up, one of which assaulted a young girl, SA with a young girl, and then the other one who raped a woman while holding a firearm in her mouth. Like, these are the freaks that are on the street.
Let's see if that's right here, because I think
it should be right there. I think it's a little bit before.
It depends what country they're from. If they're from cooperative
it's a little bit
countries
before
like El
little
Salvador,
further ahead.
Guatemala,
go
places like that,
back. So
it
go
can
back
be
to
quick.
where it's
It can be
just
that-
him. So like, I'll tell you when. Just keep going back.
They arrested two
Right there.
more targets in other parts of town away from our cameras. One of those targets is a previously deported Honduran illegal alien who was arrested for raping a woman while putting a gun in her mouth. The other target they got is a Haitian man who first flew into the United States in 2023 as part of President Biden's controversial migrant flights mass parole program. Well, they just picked him up yesterday because he's been arrested locally for sexual assault.
So both of these people,
man, this is
both-
so crazy.
it's insane. Both of these people previously deported, one of them flown back in through Biden's plan, and they're literally raping our own people on our own taxpayers' dollar. That's the
so
insane thing. Our
evil.
government flies it. This is why, I mean, we need a serious overhaul. This is, as much as I am a fan of Trump, Trump is, as I always say, just a step in a good direction. We need something stronger to take care of this.
We really do, though, for this issue. Yeah, I'm like that. I mean, that sounds crazy, but yeah, like we really do need. All right, let's watch this MSNBC clip because, yeah, well, that's the whole point of this, right? Like the USCCB is complicit in this. How much do you want to bet every one of those men featured in that story were brought in through Catholic charities?
Exactly.
It's so, man, you watch the two sides of this debate. And it's just one side only has their point of view, and then the other side's only like there is an aspect where we as Christians have to be charitable and show empathy to people, but there's also the aspect where it's like this is our country, and if we don't do something about this, we are not going to have a country.
Exactly.
And our children are going to have no way to raise their own child. Like this is, we're just passing the buck to the next generation. And I want my grandchildren to have a country and a place to live that is not a hellhole.
Yeah, I mean, all the Gen Z guys will agree with me. Why can't we just say America for Americans? Unfortunately, we just throw open the borders to everybody and we just say, come on in. The crazy thing to me is I was in Boston like a month and a half ago, maybe even less than that. I was in Boston and these guys are just roping around. You're in New York City. It's like how many people are just walking along the streets and they are these predators that will go after people. Exactly. We are being invaded. It is something that we have to recognize. This is a legitimate invasion.
Well, it also gives me hope that Amanda is saying that, right? Like it gives me hope that women are opening their eyes to this stuff because a lot of this is because women have that urge to be empathetic, right? Like it's a good thing that women are like that, right? You want your children around a woman who's merciful and empathetic, where we're a bit tough. Yeah. Nick was part of the Boston Tea Party.
So true.
I do want to watch the MSNBC clip. So let me just
I've not
see
seen this.
because I love seeing the other side spaz out. It's fun.
I feel like I'm gonna rage.
Texas yesterday.
ICE walked in like it was their empire's own conquered land. They were heavily armed. There was no prior announcement. They were blocking off entrances and exits. They were scrambling up delivery ramps. They were banging down bathroom doors to make sure no one was hiding inside.
So in her world,
so
her world,
what was the problem
ICE,
with any of that, lady?
In her world, ICE is supposed to give everybody a notice. Hey, we're coming to deport you, as if that's like they came in like they owned the place, like they were kings. Wait,
What these people fear is that if we're actually lucky and get 4 years of Trump, and then if hypothetically Vance becomes president for 8 years and continues this hardline immigration policy, we'll have all of their voters deported. That's what she's afraid of.
Well, Nick, we also have to be prepared for the propaganda that is about to come our way, right? You're about to see 4 years of, look, it'll be 99% of the stories are what we just saw on Fox News, but the 1% that are just ICE doing their job and deporting illegals will be 100% of the news coverage.
Exactly.
Like, nobody else but Trump can handle the onslaught of the media that's about to come his way. Like, I've never seen another politician just what I actually think is amazing is that Trump is acting more like a king in the first 3 days. Like, he even said, look, I'm going to be a dictator for a day.
Well,
Like,
did you notice? I don't know, I don't know if you guys noticed, but people go back and watch the stream that we did on inauguration day. What did I say? I say, look at the ties. Trump is wearing Emperor purple, the same color of Julius Caesar. And then what is Vance wearing? Trump red. This is very symbolic for a reason.
Yeah.
And that same day, what did Trump call Vance? He said he's pretty good air.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he said it was in the speech that he made to his supporters inside of the Capitol after the official speech. It's quite telling.
What they did was the first term he comes in and he thought he was gonna like work with everybody.
Yeah, super naive.
And they just screwed him so bad. And what it did was it gave him by not just letting him win in 2020 like he did, instead of just letting him and just interfering in that term as much as they did in the first term, he would have got almost nothing done. But what happened was they gave him that 4 years to learn everything. He learned who his enemies are. He learned who he could work with. He learned who was trying to screw him over. And now he comes in and he's just like, I don't care. And the crazy thing is his approval ratings are higher than they have ever been. Like,
so funny.
Him coming in and not dancing with them and just going, I don't care. This is what I'm doing. It's all it's doing is leading to people actually. Now I want to finish this clip because I love seeing the emotional outburst.
Look at the lady behind her. Look at the lady behind her.
The emotional outrage at just the law being applied properly.
They did all of this without being unable to produce a single name or a single warrant.
According to the mayor, a number of undocumented individuals were detained, as well as a U.S. citizen, a veteran of the military who was pressed about his military documents.
In the past 24 hours, or as of yesterday, they arrested over 500 migrants. For comparison,
nice.
September.
Because I saw, like, on day one, I saw a report come out. It was like 380 illegals have been deported. It's like, no, you need to get that number up to 30,000 a day.
Yeah, it has to be, because there's literally no. I mean, that the crazy thing is, I mean, 500 is great, but it's a drop in the bucket.
Dude, I mean, you think about it, 500 a day times 365, it's like 15,000 or 150,000. I don't know what my math is. 150,000 a year. Like, no, we need that number to be 1.5 million a year.
Yeah, at least.
It needs to be 30,000 a day being deported.
The average number of migrants arrested by ICE in a day in September was 282. So they've almost doubled that, at least from their average. They also were using military planes to start to deport migrants.
Good.
That is new. The very image of seeing migrants walk into those planes, that is something that's part of this shock and awe strategy. And then the workplace raids. That's not new to Trump. Of course, there were workplace raids under the Trump administration, many under the George W. Bush administration. But
there were many under the Obama administration. Like they won't even mention that like deportations have always gone on. They even went on under Biden. Like, they did deport some people. They just snuck right back in.
Yeah, exactly. It was just a slap on the wrist. How many illegals are actually here? That's the question. They estimate upwards of around 30 million or more.
Well, not just that. It's like,
insane
yeah,
numbers.
these workplace raids, they're just so shocking. It's like, stop hiring illegals. Stop hiring illegals. Like, if you're the business owner, stop hiring
like
illegals.
500 million at least. Yeah.
Wait. Wait, what did he say? Because I have to be on the other screen when
he asked how many illegals are actually here, and he's at least 500 million.
At least there's a billion of them. All right, let's see. Because I just think
I might have overestimated slightly.
Yeah, but just a tiny bit. I don't think it was
just
that
a little
much.
bit, just a little
bit. Let's see.
But they did not have them during the Biden administration. The Biden administration focused instead on employers that were hiring undocumented immigrants and had a pattern of that rather than on the migrants themselves. They're also doing a lot of collateral arrests. So if they find people in the middle of their operations who are not considered criminals, but they are undocumented immigrants, they are arresting them as well.
1,500
Yeah, okay.
Why?
If you
like,
come,
what's the deal, lady?
Well, here's the thing. It's actually an amazing policy. We're going to come for the criminals. But if you're hanging around that criminal, we're coming for you too. Like, it's just that simple. Like, if you're here illegally and because a lot of these illegals will live 30 in a house, and they really will. They'll live 30 in a house. They all split the rent up, and it's $20 each a week for them all live there. And it's like, if one person in that house is doing something illegal, that entire house has to go, because you're harboring an illegal. You're harboring a criminal. And that would be even if you're a U.S. citizen. If you're harboring a felon who's on the run, right? If you're harboring a criminal who's on the run, you are also implicated in a crime in that situation.
Exactly. What's so horrible about this is just, you guys notice the language, the communistic gobbledygook language that reporter is using, where it's saying migrants or immigrants.
Not illegal aliens.
They're not immigrants. And most of these people aren't migrants either. I mean, if there is any migrants in this massive pool, they've fled from communist countries. But if it's a migrant, go through the port of entry instead of sneaking over. That's the issue. What's so horrible about all this is we focus on the crime aspect, but it's like, each one of these people, they take an American job, they lower the wages down because people can be paying for under the table, and they destroy the economy. Self-deportations are pretty awesome. Yeah. Did you guys hear? I don't know if you guys in the chat heard this yesterday, but India announced that they were going to take back 18,000, they estimate 18,000 illegal Indians are in the country. And they said that they were going to take them back because they were afraid of the tariffs. It's like, yes.
Oh, that's good news. All right, wait, I got another good clip that I just thought of to pull up, because you reminded me of that phrasing. So DeSantis yesterday was in there was a reporter who asked him a question, and DeSantis just put him right in his place. Hang on, let me see. Governor DeSantis.
Reporters, man.
Oh, I love it. But DeSantis is always good at this too.
Yeah, he was.
DeSantis has always been good at this, like handling reporters and their nonsense. So, all right, let's see. Oh, wrong one.
News Channel 4 here in Jacksonville. I just have 4 questions. One, Florida is home to hundreds of thousands of undocumented immigrants who are working in areas.
Well, so the federal government has made clear that the statutory term.
What happened to the volume?
Volume's good. The volume's good.
They're illegal aliens. That's the statutory term. That's what it is. And I think it's to try to water down. I mean, like, undocumented, it's like if I get in my car and I forget my wallet, okay, I don't have my document on me, like my driver's license. But I mean, I still have a right to drive. I just made a mistake. This is intentional to come in illegally. And it's not just a question of missing a document. It's a question of, you violated the law. That were very clear, and knowingly, and with the help of the cartels in many cases.
Florida is home to hundreds of thousands of illegal immigrants who are illegal aliens, if you want to call it.
And then he had to actually correct himself because he didn't want to get another lecture.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, this is the thing. The left is I mean, when it's whether it's this issue or reproductive health for infanticide or gay, the classic one, instead of sodomy. It's like what they have always done is they have tried to blur the hideousness of these things by language so that it feels more psychologically comfortable for people. It's a tragedy. It's horrible. So we got to just use the term illegal alien. That's what they are. Or better yet, invaders. I'm fine if you guys want to use invaders too. So,
well,
invaders,
okay. So wait, while sticking with this, this idea of language, right? There was, I think it was James Martin.
So true, your boy. Fornication becomes sleeping around. Exactly.
Let me see. I gotta find this one because okay, so yeah, this is it. So James Martin said, on the day of March for Life, a reminder that being pro-life means reverencing not only the unborn, but also the lives of the poor. Oh, he deleted his post.
All these guys deleting their posts today.
These guys are all because they're just getting destroyed. On this day of the March for Life, a reminder that being pro-life means reverencing not only the unborn, but also the lives of the poor, migrants, and refugees, inmates, LGBTQ people, and all others whose lives are as Pope. And I can't see the rest of the tweet because he.
You want to know, James Martin, the lives that are at risk right now? American citizens, British white girls. Those are the lives that are at risk right now. But because you have a communist agenda, and you're a heretic, by the way, if you don't know, because you have that agenda, you won't bring that up. Because apparently white people can't be hurt. They're always the persecutor. They're never the victim of any situation.
I think, okay, so CBS deleting their tweet, James Martin deleting his tweet. I think, so I said, great, stop saying we're pro-life. Say we're against abortion and child sacrifice. Call it the March Against Moloch.
I like that, yeah.
I think, first off, yeah, I don't care about the term pro-life. Like, I don't care about just call it what it is. It's child sacrifice, right? Them co-opting this idea, well, pro-life, and giving us the seamless garment nonsense. But I think Elon bringing attention to the amount of money going to the NGOs, I bet you see these guys back off a lot of the nonsense that they're saying with the immigration stuff.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to kick the hornet's nest. It's like, wait, we got a good thing going. Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. Stop raising alarms. All they're going to do is look into how much money we are laundering.
We need to have Lepanto Institute back on to talk about that. It'd be awesome.
I did ask Michael to come on today, but he was putting the final touches on his newsletter. And it's the thing is, we have so many guests lined up. I don't have open spots to get people on anymore. So
you should just allow me to stream. I'll just invite a random guest and I'll just start streaming.
Well, I mean, it would have to be off days. Like, it can't be our regular Tuesday or Thursday. And I can't, if I'm working my regular schedule, I just can't do more than 2 shows a week. So we have Eric Ibarra on Tuesday. Thursday we have I think
President of TAN, right?
Yes, the Conor Gallagher, who's the president of TAN. Then the next week we have Brian Holdsworth on Tuesday.
Let's go.
Taylor Marshall on Thursday. Then we have Father Ripperger the following week. And then I am off on the 13th because it is my wife's birthday and I'm taking my family away. I gave her I told you guys how I do this, right? My wife's birthday is February 13th. Valentine's Day is the 14th. So instead of getting her a present for her, I get her a present for me.
Yeah, 2 for the price of 1.
Yeah. It's so wrong.
It is so, Anthony, this year you got to be better. You got to be better.
It's so wrong that I do it. So every year for her birthday and Valentine's Day, I take her on a snowboarding trip. It's like, I just want to go snowboarding. Like, well, this counts for both. Like,
are you going to do that this year?
I do it every year. She gets so mad.
Anthony, women like romance. I've been told anyway. I've never experienced that, but I've been told they like romance. You got to change it up a bit.
I took her to Italy. That's enough. What more does she want from me?
I did enough for you.
That's good for like 3 years in my book. You got 3 years.
No, like wife. The reason I'm not getting you anything this year for Valentine's Day or for your birthday, and I'm getting myself a gift, is because I took you to Italy, which counts for 3 years in my book.
This summer's our 20th wedding anniversary. I'm like, but we went to Italy. I'm just pulling that card every chance. So we have our 20th wedding anniversary this year. She's like, what are we doing for our 20th? I'm like, we did it already. What do you mean? We went to Italy.
She's like, no, we didn't do anything special for that. Yes, we did. You don't remember?
Well, I did take her to the Met yesterday in Manhattan. We went to, I've been off all week, and I'm like, I can't just sit in my house. I'll go crazy, especially with her. Listen, I get that a lot of guys think it's a good thing to work from home. I can't work from home.
You can't do that, yeah.
No, I cannot work from home because she thinks I'm off. Like this whole week, I've been trying to do things for the show behind the scenes, like setting up interviews, cutting clips, just trying to figure some things out for the show. And because I'm home, she keeps walking and she's like, can you do this? Can you do this? Can you do this? I'm like, can you get out? I'm busy. You're on your phone. Like, yes, I'm on my phone. I'm busy. It's just not good for me. I need to wake up 4 a.m.
Twitter is a full-time job. It is a job. It is. Twitter is a job.
No, it literally is. I get paid to tweet. Like, I don't know what to tell you, woman. This is my job. I'm working right now.
Go hang your own picture. I'm tweeting right now.
You know what we should do? We should kill the YouTube stream, go over to Locals, and just go over Jim Russell's tweets.
That's fine with me, but you're not even on Local, so we'd have to just stick with Twitter.
It'd have to just be Twitter. No, we have to do Locals.
I say if we do it, we keep it on, because honestly, the fact that you guys haven't done like a full Jim Russell stream is kind of
but it's going to be for Locals only. Like, and Rob can't put that podcast up. It's got to be because if Jim's got to pay for it. That's the only way that works. The funniest thing is the last thing he said was, because my suspicion. Oh, I gotta read this one.
I haven't even checked Twitter in like 3 days, and so apparently he's been tweeting about me a lot.
Oh, he's going through your whole channel.
Hey, let's go.
He's literally going. All right, we're gonna go through this one. He goes, honestly, this is the second day in which Rob and Anthony of Avoiding Babylon have not posted anything about me or my concerns about their speaking in Charlotte, North Carolina for the Catholic Men's Conference of the Carolinas on February 8th. If you guys haven't yet, go buy tickets to the Catholic Men's Conference of Carolinas on February 8th. I suspect the conference organizers might have requested that they stop engaging me publicly regarding this issue, which is great because now I have a lot more time to work privately on this issue instead of having to defend my name and reputation from daily onslaught I've been enduring from them and their adherents. Like, I just got bored with him. I just don't care. Like, it's not
engagement.
Nobody responds to him. Nobody cares what he said. This idiot goes after Joshua Charles now because Josh came on our show. It's like I've never seen somebody ruin their own friendships and relationships. I think he's like 78. He's like 80 years old or something, the guy. Like, he used to get like some interaction. He has destroyed his reputation.
He's become a meme on the internet.
He's become a clown. Dude, my wife has never laughed harder. I'm not kidding. I don't think she almost peed her pants when I read to her that he calls himself a whistleblower. Like, he calls himself a whistleblower.
78-year-old whistleblower. Where does he like fall on the spectrum? Because I think like you guys pulled up something that like he was super anti Mike Lewis.
Yes.
So where is he in this spectrum?
He is a JP2 hermeneutic of continuity, Vatican II enthusiast. I think. I'm guessing. He's homeless right now. He just, not that he's literally homeless. I mean, like he's homeless in the church because nobody is doing that anymore. Like he's just trapped in this world that doesn't exist anymore. It's nobody. I don't know what he's going for. I don't know. I don't care. Like I
Poor
just
guy.
don't care. Every once in a blue, like I used to check when he was tweeting. I don't even care anymore. Like maybe like yesterday I didn't look at all, and then this morning I looked and I saw this from like yesterday or the day before, and I'm like, it's driving him crazy that we're not interacting with him on Twitter. Like it's
He's
just
probably gonna be
driving
so
him.
happy. He's gonna be so happy with this clip. I'm pulling it up. I'm
Yes,
pulling him
because
up right now.
he feeds on attention, right? Like it's funny that he calls me a narcissist. Like I am vainglorious. That is something I will readily I like to be the center of attention. I'm not a narcissist. A narcissist is something very different. Like it's just
Do you want me to read
different.
you his last tweet, which was
Let's
like
hear it.
less than an hour ago about you?
Oh, it's about
He's
me?
still tweeting. Yeah,
He's
it's
so
literally
sick.
an hour ago.
He's so
He
sick.
says, he says, quote, I'll read it for everyone. Quote, avoiding Babylon's Anthony Abate, we have been accused of anti-Semitism for criticizing the state of Israel. No, genius. You've been accused of anti-Semitism for mocking the Jews, repeating anti-Semitic Jewish tropes, and for falsifying claims that the Jews conspiratoriously collude with the deep state to derail the Second Vatican Council, and today to collude with the Pope and the hierarchy to crucify the church. The last claim made again while you muted the rabbi's benediction at Trump's inauguration. So spare me your lies, you despicable bigot. And yes, the Diocese of Charlotte, North Carolina, is still platforming avoiding Babylon for the Catholic Men's Conference on February 8th.
I can't tell everybody what
oh brother.
I can't tell everybody what's going on behind the scenes with the diocese. But I think they'd have canceled us by now. Like I don't know. It's just whatever. I'm not even addressing that. It's just this. The funniest thing is the more he tweets about me, the more likely we are to keep our gig.
It's real. He put it
the more he says about me, the more likely we are to, because he looks like an obsessed lunatic to everyone, like to literally everyone. Everyone just thinks he is an obsessed lunatic. Even people that like him are like, Jim, give it a rest. Like, what do you do? Like, your entire feed is just this obsession with Anthony. I'm living my life. He's like, the diocese must have said, no, dude, I'm snowboarding with my daughter. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't care what you say about me at all. Nobody cares about you. I've never seen, the only thing that would, I'm like a little mad is that, like, if he actually had a little bit of a platform, this would raise some, like, maybe it would get some attraction to it. Like, maybe some people would pick up what he said.
There's no one's even liking his posts.
He tried riding me out to Raymond Arroyo.
Oh,
he's honestly, I enjoy him. Let him go. It's fun.
I'm reading through his Twitter right now. Honestly, yeah, I've not.
No,
I've
save it.
not
No. We're gonna do an entire Jim Russell show, but I'm gonna make that episode. If you're not already a member, I'm gonna figure out some way where if you're not already a member, you guys should be members now of our locals, because that episode is gonna be $20 to watch. Because I want Jim to contribute $20. We're gonna find a way to do that. So if you're already a member, you'll be grandfathered in. But if you're not a member, you're gonna have to pay big bucks to come and see that episode. Locals paid subs, of course, paid subs only. But the problem is Rob puts the show out on audio and he doesn't cut it off at the local segment. He just people can go and cheat and grab I'm telling you guys the cheat code. Like, you can go and get the audio podcast and you get the whole show. You get the local segment, everything. But Rob's got to stop doing that. It's just got to stop. There's no more of this. It's quit. Wait.
Oh man, I can't wait for the Jim Russell show. I've not honestly looked through his Twitter, but as I've been looking through it for like the last 5 seconds, it's been hilarious. It's been great.
He's pretty awesome. I mean, yeah, it won't let me play that video for some reason. I don't know why. Not from there. It's queer.
Oh man, it's queer. Oh my gosh.
I'm surprised I was able to get it off that episode. Like, I was able to, when I sent it here, it let me see. No, now it won't let me. I don't know why. Something going on with there's something going on with my WhatsApp to StreamYard for some reason, just on my computer. Like I could do it everywhere else. I don't know why. Just on StreamYard, it's acting up. But yeah, so I know Jim. I know you watch every single episode of ours. So hi, Jim. Like he literally watches every single episode. He
just hate watches. He's like Michael Lofton when he would watch with Marshall.
Oh, it's so obsessive and so fun. He watched. Dude, we did 3.5 hours with Sam Shamoon last night. He watched every single minute.
For real.
Every single minute. He checked that with Sam Shamoon, which the show with Sam was
so
pretty
much
awesome.
fun.
Like
it was
it
so
really
much fun.
did open me up to so much, but
yeah, we barely scratched the surface on that episode. It was so much fun. I've wanted to have him on for so long.
I have been seeing clips of him for years. But then to actually, like, I cut up the clip of him telling his actual coming into the church story. That's an amazing clip. I can't wait to put that one out.
Mm-hmm.
We got a couple of good shorts out of that episode. So yeah, I mean, he's clearly, I mean, he's just the whistleblower thing. I'm telling you, when I read it to her, she just burst out laughing. It was just so funny.
Poor Jim. Is Jim single? Is he not married? Does he not like have anybody in his life, and that's why he's obsessing over us?
I can't discuss that because I don't want to, because that's what kind of started this whole thing. So I won't discuss his personal life. I don't care. Like I don't care to get into his personal life. I just his behavior is just.
I'm just wondering if he's lonely. I'm just like, bro, like,
oh, he's lonely. Yes.
Anything else to do but like go up 24/7 after Anthony?
Said
anything?
Who's whistle? That's a funny line. Oh, that's terrible, guys. You can't make jokes like that.
He says about me, quote,
I'm not going to post all these comments about people talking about his private life. I'm not trying, like, he wants to ruin me.
Yeah, he doesn't like me either. He says, poor little guy need better intellectual and academic formation. Even Grok gets this right.
That's so good. It's the next best part. He uses Grok for his theology.
I'm like, what?
He gets all his Catholic theology from Grok. How litigious is he? Well, how litigious am I? Because he's bordering on defamation. Like he's actually bordering on defamation of me. I mean, even the accusations of anti-Semitism, like you can't just throw that accusation at somebody. I have never said anything about any Jewish, like harming Jewish people, anything like that. Repeating anti-Semitic tropes, it's just silly. Like we say something the Amish thing started because when we were discussing Romans 9, 10, and 11, it was if you said the word Jew, like your algorithm would get stifled. So we just said, well, why don't we just call them Amish, just to get around the algorithm. That's all it was. And then we were actually goofing on people who do go that route and like the Jews control everything. And we just started goofing around and saying like, oh, the Amish control everything. Don't let the Amish be the banker and monopoly. Like it was just silliness. And I'm talking to friends about it. Like it was never anything like, I just don't even care what it is. I don't care. Like I just literally, I'm not even going to defend myself against this mental case. He's absolutely out of his mind.
Literally every local stream. So true.
If that was true, Jim would be posting my local segments. All right, so we're gonna wrap this one up. There's no local show tonight because I butchered the local stream. But I don't know, man. These shows are always fun. I like to jump on and just do random topics on occasion with you, Nick.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It was fun.
Grover, I'm not answering that question. You guys are getting it. I'm not answering any of these questions. This is crazy talk. All right, guys. We will be back on Tuesday with Eric Ibarra, unless something crazy happens over the weekend and me and Nick decide to jump on and yeah. Wait, you know what? I will grift you guys. If you guys want, you could go to our store shop at Avoiding Babylon and pick up a. Oh, we just made a deal with a lighter company.
Oh, really?
There will be Avoiding Babylon lighters coming for for you cigar smokers and
Oh, cool.
all you guys. So they're going to be making one for us that will be able to offer to people who buy like a year's long locals membership.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could also just buy the lighter if you guys like it. They're not Zippos. They're like butane lighters. They're very nice lighters. They are refillable butane lighters that are made. They're good for like cigars and things like that. So, and Don's right. Nobody has. Well, my thing is, I don't think anybody in history has ever gone into a store, bought like a Bic lighter. This is for cigarette smokers would get this. It's not meant for Zippos. Like if you bought a Bic lighter, you've never bought it and used it until it ran out of gas.
Mm-hmm.
You've got lighters that ran out of gas, but you stole it from somebody or somebody gave it to you to light your cigarette and then you accidentally forgot to give it back to them. You've never bought one and use it until it's dead. It's nobody in history has ever done this.
I'm gonna be the first one just because you said that. I'll be the first one.
Everybody loves that. I have the idiot right behind me.
The idiot.
It's literally right behind me. The idiot.
Oh, brother.
All right, guys. We are going to wrap this one up. We will see you guys on Tuesday. Thank you all for joining us. And honestly, if you see a tweet by Jim Russell where he puts my last name in it, you should report that because I don't like my last name being used on Twitter. Like this is doxing. It is completely against my wishes. So I really don't like my information being doxed like that. So, if you guys see one with my last name in it, I would appreciate you helping out. All right, guys. See you next time.
Adios.